Closing in. Are people talking? Is my system all effed up here? Okay.
We'll do it live.
Oh yeah, we'll do it live, and I'll unmute myself so everybody can hear. Pro streamer, everybody. I wanted to make sure I didn't belch or something during the trailer. Anyway, hey, welcome everybody to this here Project Athena Pulp Cthulhu narrative. This is our third episode from the end, and as we get closer and closer to the culmination of this fine series with these fine people in a very unfine place, it's like we always have to do. We have to go back to go forward. But let's reintroduce ourselves to everybody, as we haven't been together as a whole for a couple weeks. In fact, we haven't been together as a whole for a whole year. 2019 today marks our first time as a gathered group upon Mount Olympus. Let's go around and talk to everybody, and I will quickly ask the following questions. Your name, rank, and serial number. Or as we do it here, who are you? Who are you playing? And how are you feeling? Lauren!
Yes, Greg. Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on Twitter, she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Miss Sabella Marie Abbs about esoteric and antiquarian bookstore on the beautiful Lower East Side of Manhattan. Psychic, lover, fighter, feeling good.
Psychic, lover, fighter. T-shirt. Let's jump right over to my man Strider. Same questions, my friend. Name, rank, and serial number. Who are you? Who are you playing? And how are you feeling?
Hey, my name's Strider Heap. I'm playing Elijah Sawyer. He's shitting his pants right now, but I'm doing pretty good. Let me just share with you this, my friends, last passage we left off of in the book of Elijah. In this, the 1933rd year, Elijah spoke unto the Olympians. Ah, fuck. I think that's where we left off.
Very good. In fact, I applaud your command of the passage and scripture. It is impressive to behold. And as we drop straight down to Stephen, I will ask my friend this. Name, rank, and serial number. Who are you? Who are you playing? And how are you feeling?
How are you doing, buddy? I play Dwight Burke. He's a soldier. He is a sniper. He has his sights locked onto one of our main enemies, somebody he has probably wanted to put a bullet through his brain for a while. I am doing well. This game could not come fast enough this week, so that's all I'm going to say about that. And I have to amplify Strider's thing by oh fuck. So I'm right there in the book of Elijah. So thank you.
The book of fuck. Okay, so let's drop right down to the commander, captain, leader of the Olympians. Allison, my friend, I will ask you, name, rank, and serial number. Who are you? Who will you be playing? And how are you feeling?
Hey, everybody. It's Allison. I play Caitlin Jane O'Callahan, aviatrix extraordinaire, princess of the skies, America's flying sweetheart. Kate is bleeding out on the desert sand of the Holy Land. But I'm feeling pretty excited. And yeah, I think the happy ending is in sight.
Let's all get ready to click those ruby slippers together, for there is no place like 1933. But before we can go there, we have one last person to ask. Our former Nazi, Lindy, name, rank, and serial number. Who are you? Who will you be playing? And how are you feeling?
Lindy's not the former Nazi.
That's true.
It was a dramatic Clinton-esque pause. I did not have sex with that woman. Beat. Monica Lewinsky. Grammar master. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I will be throw me completely off with your dramatic pause. But I am Lindy, and I will be playing Dr. Greta von Krauss, doctor, scientist, and frazzled woman at the moment. Everybody's dying around her, and the guy she wants to see the least right now just started walking up, so she's not thrilled.
Right. And that is a perfect segue, my friend, and thank you very much for segueing it as we delve back into 1933, and more specifically, the desert surrounding Jerusalem. Not to go too far backwards in the recap, and we're not going to have any epitaphs or graveyard gravestones today because we didn't have the full cast with us last time in which to appreciate the potential for death. But quickly bringing everybody back up to speed, the team is in the desert. They are moving towards the culmination, though 4 of them do not know it, of who their true villain is. And that villain was revealed because one Sabella Marie Ives of Ives Esoteric and Antiquarian Bookstore became the Tyrannish, the dreamer, the person that was to hold the evil elder gods at bay. And hold them at bay she did. But in addition to doing that, she figured out some very important facts that she already suspected on many occasions. But she also determined who their true enemy was. That enemy is in fact Joseph Dietrich, or Dietrich Prime, as they call him. The man who has many, many shadows. And this man also, with information gleaned from the Purple Nowhere, she was able to find out that he is currently in Jerusalem with one Ruby Foster. Now, Ruby's involvement in this entire thing is still unknown. However, many of the other people that have been in the Olympians' orbit, proximity, confidence, have also been uncovered as betrayers or manipulators. Chief among them, Jack Kilgrave, who apparently put together the Olympians for the sole purpose of expediting his own death. Now, ironically, he's lying dead on the desert outside of Jerusalem. However, Sabella also found out that he is very long-lived, and that death doesn't hold the same sway against Jack Kilgrave as it does for perhaps the Olympians themselves. But as for the Olympians, they are currently inside a purple storm, both of sand, wind, and fury. Their leader, Cato Callahan, is suffered a terrible wound from the elephant gun of none other than Lancaster, the British hunter, the lapdog, the blunt force trauma employed, as we found out, by Joseph Dietrich. He has come to kill them. He has brought an army. And so far, the Olympians are not faring well. So before we begin what is to be a battle in Cthulhu, which anyone that's played the game knows could be over very quickly and with very terminal circumstances, I'm going to go back around and I just want you to tell me where you stand hit point wise, so we know exactly what we're looking at with the Olympians. Lauren?
14 of 26.
Strider?
13 of 22.
Steve?
23.
I believe of 23 of 27. Something like that.
29. 29.
23 of 29. Kate?
6 of 21.
6 of 21. And finally, I say Kate. Allison. Lindy?
27 of 27.
For once!
It's the first time this campaign where I have not been hurt.
Okay.
Everyone else is.
So with and just to remind everybody, the weapon that is employed not only by the rifleman that Lancaster has with him, but by his arcane inscribed and bastardized elephant gun, he has the potential to do, mechanically speaking, peek behind the curtain, 18 points of damage per shot. So take that into consideration for the Olympians and how they've described their current states of health. If you would like to either help or hurt what is going on with the narrative, please look right down. You'll see that there are donations. As I said, this is the third to last episode of Project Athena, anything that you give will have an immediate effect or a narrative effect upon the story. But before we do anything else, before I can stall any longer with some of my favorite characters in the history of forever, it is time for us to drop back into the sands around Jerusalem. We find ourselves in the proverbial eye of the storm, but this eye is not calm. It is blowing sand everywhere, cast with a purple hue. In many instances, the blood that is pouring from many of the Olympians is just a darker lavender. And as the characters spin and look for purchase, look for a shot, look for somebody to target, one of their own, Kate O'Callahan, the leader who has stood steadfast with them throughout the entirety of their journey, lies upon her back, blasted to the ground by a malicious man and a malicious rifle. Sabella Marie Ives, at this point, has slipped into a fugue state. She is incapable of articulating, of talking. She's gone. She is the Tyrannish. But as we skip mere seconds later, a much longer period of time for Sabella Marie Ives, her eyes do in fact open. She sees the state of her friends. She sees the advancement of the army, perhaps clearer than those that are inside the swirl. And as she looks, she sees two brilliant shapes, one of them an orange red of flame, and one of them almost white hot, burning with a hue of blue in this purple. And I did not mention this last time, but these two stars, these two furies, drop from the sky. And as you see them sweep in, you hear the cry come out, "Mama!" And that is where we will begin the third to last episode of Project Athena. And I am going to ask only one Olympian, Sabella, what do you do?
How close are the girls to me?
They are above the lines of Lancaster's army. Because of the swirl of the sand, you cannot make out how many number-wise he has with him. It is at least 24. It speaks of many more by the way that they are arrayed in a 2 rank and file system. It could be as many as 100. You know that he had that many when last you met him. But these two sparks that are flying, two faces that you cannot make out, they are soaring in the air, in the storm itself, and they are above Lancaster. And as you watch, you see the men begin to scream out, "The Furies!" as they too bear witness to the stars that have fallen.
She's going to sit upright, bolt upright, and look around the surroundings. She can see where Dwight is looking. She sees Kate on the ground, and she's going to she's going to look for cover.
Okay, roll me a spot hidden as you look around. I'm going to give you advantage on this because for some reason the swirl is not as thick for Sabella at this moment. Also, you all received a +1 advantage from Levi. Use it well, my Olympians.
Extreme success on the spot hidden.
As you spin and look around, you realize that your group had not taken to the plains of the desert or this level area of the desert above the Crescent Valley for long before this fate had kind of befallen you. And as you look, you can see a rise of rock off to the group's right, not necessarily between you and the host of Lancaster, but further to the right, running parallel to him. And because of your extreme success, you can see that there is at least one cave opening.
I will... Katie... Okay, How far away is Kate from me?
You all were clumped up pretty close together during the conversation leading to you becoming the Tyrannish. So less than 10 feet. She is lying on her back, though, as the narrative dictated in the last time, having slid to a stop after taking the slug.
If I use my entire turn, could I get her to the cave?
You could definitely start in that direction. How about this? As I will offer no help at this point, my Olympians, how would you like to get her to the cave?
If Sibella's approaching, Elijah's going to suggest that Greta take a look and maybe suggest some kind of help so you don't move something that shouldn't be moved.
Yeah.
This is happening in a moment between seconds. Kate has just dropped to the ground. The only Olympian active is Sibella.
Well, what I was going to say was that she probably, as she did in that museum when she didn't throw the grenade back out of the hole, she doesn't know a lot about this kind of stuff and is concerned that she would do more harm than good. So she's going to move herself since she knows where everybody else is. So she's going to start moving. And she's also, because I don't believe I need line of sight, she's going to start reciting the resurrection ritual backwards.
Okay, so as you begin doing this, you would know that though you have learned this spell, this is very much a ritual. This is going to cause you can't be doing anything else while you're doing it. There's movements, speech, very metered type of language that's required. So while you can kind of mentally prep that, it's an
Then I
action
go to
unto
the
itself.
cave. Then I go to the cave. And I'm going to, I'll start it on the next round. I'm going to move.
Okay, as you grab Kate, are you just dragging her? Like, are you just taking...
No, I'm not going to, because I think I'll hurt her more.
Okay, so as you rush off to the cave, I will allow you to get the entire distance to the cave. As you go, and as, of course, your two friends, the serpent pups that have been here since the beginning, they take off and kind of lope beside you. It is the action of those two running with you that sparks an eerie mirror in the sand cast upon the storm as you see more of the shapes of Cleo and Tom. What are the two? Cleo and Tom. You see mirrored shapes denoting other serpent dogs that seem to be descending upon the area as well. It appears much like the last time you encountered Lancaster on a field of battle. He has brought his dogs.
Seeing that as we're going, then can I tell them in the call to go back and guard Kate? Point her out.
You roll me a charm, persuasion, or fast talk. Your choice.
I'll use an advantage and I'll go charm because that's what we do. Oh, a hard success. That's so nice. That's nice.
There is, much like dogs being sent off to do anything that is in the absence of their friend, master, companion, there's a bit of a sink to the serpentine heads of the dogs, but heed your word, they do, and they stop in the dust, spin, run back, and you see them begin to take a position over Kate.
I feel so good about that turn. I'm sure it's all going to be fine, and I run.
Okay, so you run, and we will end your turn as you kind of are just maybe 10-15 feet away from this cave network. We're going to go back into regular time. And as we hit this moment, many of you would notice the rise and sprint of Sibella Marie Ives, but it's done very quickly, almost in the beats between seconds, as she is still catching up with this plane of existence where time was much faster for her than it was for you all. She still was moving at that speed upon which she re-entered this world. when you get up and look around, you see these sparks in the sky. You don't hear the scream of mama, but you do hear the infantry soldiers and the hunters and riflemen of Lancaster screaming out that the Furies are here. Now, before anything can be done by the Olympians, several things happen. You see that not only do the riflemen possess themselves, Lancaster, these dogs, they are also equipped with what look like large tanker trucks. You're not sure exactly what could possibly be these tanker trucks be used for until you see that atop them there is a makeshift basket turret, and as soon as it is announced that the Furies are here, you see huge geysers of water being shot into the air to blanket and wetten and damp the entire regiment and the sky itself. The two flashes, these Furies that you have witnessed in the sky, begin to dodge these huge gouts and jets of water that are coming from these trucks. In addition to that, you see someone step beside Lancaster, not dressed as a rifleman. This being seems to be dressed in an amalgamation of loose flesh, wrapped with leather strips. And as the creature begins to move its arms, its spindly, sunken digits throw something at the group. And in the middle of the Olympians, just above the prone Kate O'Callahan, a brilliant red sign begins to glow. I'd like each of you to roll me a D3.
Me too, Greg?
No, you're not there. You made it out. Here, I got you, Steve. 2. So, everybody, the D3s that you rolled, your result is your hit points lost. I got you, Kate. 2 again. Look at me. 2 and 2. So, as this sign appears above you, it has an arcane bent to it. It is two-dimensional, but is slowly turning. It casts an illumination. Its red combining with the purple add to this indigo, this deepening of the royal color, and it burns, not flesh, not hair, not eyes. It burns your soul. And as you feel this spirit attack upon you, it weighs and it rents, and you feel it emanating in waves from this whatever it is, and it's growing stronger. So, my Olympians, I will now ask the rest of you, what will you do?
Elijah's gonna slide over to Kate and be yelling out, "Greta, wave, come over here." His priority is to help out and do whatever he's told, how to pick her up, how to move her. Probably try to help Kate with some
Yeah,
fashion.
I saw Kate's been shot. This thing, it hurts. So, like, I think the most Greta's gonna do is she's gonna try to keep staying low because she don't want to get shot by that elephant gun. She's gonna pop in another cartridge, basically spin over her thing in her hypo syringe, and stick Kate with some Heilkrafter.
And could you describe what that is?
Yes. Heilkrafter is subject is able to produce a limited amount of accelerated self-healing by concentrating on the regenerative faculties. So basically, you can trade luck for hit points.
Now, can I ask you another question?
Yes.
Who gave that to you?
Who gave that to me? I made that one up for the beginning of the campaign.
You mass-produced that one?
Yeah. Oh, shit. Dr. Dietrich.
I would like Kate to roll a D3 for me, please.
Oh no. My other ones worked. Let me look back.
That was the one they mass produced. You had them work specifically on that one.
How do you do that? I don't even know how to do that.
I'll get you. I'm sorry. 3.
Fuck.
So as you inject what you believe and have tested and have accurately assumed would work, you place your hypo spray in, but when it injects, you see Kate's back kind of tense and arch as instead of coagulating, the wound in her chest begins to pump as if her blood is thinning, and you see the opposite of what should happen occur as the sabotage from Dr. Dietrich is apparent now.
I don't feel bad about him dying anymore.
I'm no doctor.
Scheiße! She's just gonna go on a string of German curses and then first aid.
Okay, I will let you know this.
Or can I drag her away in first aid, or is she gonna like this is bad?
You've got to make a decision here because the red sign is directly over Kate.
Okay. Do I think I can move her?
You can certainly try, absolutely. I'm just saying that any action that isn't moving her would result in the two of you still being...
Will result in us all getting more damage from this red sign. Yeah, okay. Well, Hellcraft was supposed to work. So, Greta just gonna start dragging Kate, getting her out.
Can Dwight Scream hit the jetpack? Send her toward the cave.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Dwight Screams, I hit the jetpack.
We can't hear you, Allie. You're muted.
I'm still conscious, right?
Yeah, you haven't slipped away yet. You are reeling. It's almost like you've had your bell rung. You know, you're just in shock. You've sustained what they would call, even in Pulp Cthulhu, a major wound. You have lost the majority of your hit points in a 2-round burst. It's not a good thing. Pulp Cthulhu characters are much tougher than Cthulhu, but they still suffer the effects of rapid HP loss, of which you have. But you may speak if you'd like.
It's back. Greta's just like looking at you like, you conscious enough to use the jetpack? She's starting to drag you, but is gonna ask if Kate wants to hit the jetpack.
Kate just looks at you.
Okay, dragging it is. All right.
The plunger button to activate the jetpack is very simple. This is 1933. It's not like Iron Man's suit. There is a simple activation trigger to fire up the jetpack. It's not something that...
Okay.
And it's in my hand. It's in my hand.
You have it... the way that you described it before, Allison, is you snaked it through your flight jacket. So
right.
You had it like in your glove, around your glove. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not influencing this scene at all, but I'm just going to say it's the pulpiest shit that maybe has ever been suggested.
I know that this jetpack has lifted more than one person before. Like 2 people have been lifted, yeah? Greta's gonna, because Kate seems kind of out of it, she's gonna like grab the jetpack, Kate, and tell tell Elisha, hold on, and she's gonna flick it and see if it can like start like just all 3 of them just like towards the cave, like super fast.
I'm holding it in my hand. I don't know that you'd be able to access it independently. I'm holding it ready to trigger it, but I'm just waiting for my turn to act here.
Okay. We're all kind of.
If that's you can hand off initiative if you want to end your turn kind of lying on top of Kate, like basically with the intention of riding with her.
No, I'm not gonna put pressure on the wound. I was like gonna kind of sit her up and then see if we could all shoot. But no, I'm good. Girl, just let her be then.
Okay, well then you still have an action because you haven't done anything movement-wise. If you want to haul ass towards wherever you saw Sabella going, an opposite direction, whatever you'd like to do. But you still have some turn left, Lindy.
Okay, and I can't drag Kate off. And, okay, I guess she'll just go, because I don't know what Kate wants, so.
Okay, so you're taking off.
I'm not first aiding her underneath the red sign. That's
gotcha. Okay, so you're evacuating.
I was gonna drag, but if she's gonna do her thing, I'll just run away.
Okay, towards Sabella.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go then to Elijah. You said something during all of this. We'll have you and Kate act simultaneously. I know that Steve said that Dwight is trying to line up a shot, correct? So I'm going to I'll cut to him last, is what I'm saying. So Strider and Allison, what are your intentions for your two Olympians?
I'm going to jetpack toward the cave.
Okay. So as you launch towards the cave, what do we usually do?
Well, we usually do. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to need a hard roll from you on this one, simply because you are wounded as hell.
All right.
And that's not, you're going to still be going in that direction. Just the roll will dictate how you're going in that direction.
Sure. So I'll use an advantage if I need it here, okay? But I don't. Because I'm the greatest pilot in the world.
Okay. By the way, we're going to call advantages from now on before we roll. This is the end, kids. Let's make sure that we do this one.
I called it.
Advantage unless I make it.
Right. Okay, so as you are cruising through that situation, and as you blast into that area, as Lindy, as Greta is running, she sees a green streak go above her. As Kate, and as she flies over, there's like a kind of like a fog of blood settles over the side of your cheek as Kate's flying, but she's also dying. But you are rocketing towards the cave. You will overtake Sabella by the beginning of the next round. Elijah, what are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, we'll go with everyone else.
Okay, you rush off. Then that leaves Dwight. Dwight, what are you doing, my friend?
Can I make a power check to believe that this bullet can actually damage Lancaster? Anything in my brain, like the bullet's there, do I have a connection? Anything you'll give me in a mystical sense that I know that I can take, because last time we couldn't even hit him with it. So Dwight in his mind thinks that this bullet can knock the shields off of Lancaster. I mean, last time he fought him, he couldn't even touch him. He put several shots into him.
Okay, this isn't Dwight's forte. And to do this, if you're gonna like intently study this bullet, it's going to pretty much rule out your ability to use it this round, because it's not just looking at it and being like, it's magical, it'll work. It's almost like giving into it, entering into something that you've kind of seen Sabella do. But it would be a long shot at best for Dwight, because you're not trained to do this as such. So
I got it. Is he completely in front of me? I mean, I got an extreme the last time. I can see him plain as day. I've lined up the shot. Do I have it? What anything? I'm going to use an advantage even though I have a 95, I'm going to shoot an advantage just to make sure that I don't miss with this bullet.
Okay, and I will tell you this. Do you remember what was said when you were given the bullet? That's the only. If you roll an intelligence check for me, or a education or idea check.
I know you gave it to me. It was in my pocket. I pulled it out. I got an extreme on the spot hidden. Hard success.
You were told it was for your enemy.
Okay. Dwight has 4 actions. What can he do with those actions?
You are currently kneeling down beside or beneath the swirl that is the red sign as it moves, almost like an old-timey McDonald's.
Can the red sign be shot?
You're sure that you could hit it. It's right beside you. There's also Lancaster, his army, the water trucks. There are the 2 brilliant fiery things in the air. There are multiple targets. It's a target-rich environment if you're looking for shooting. I will let you know you are alone right now, as the 2 dogs, Tom and Cleo, upon seeing Kate rocket off, are following.
Yeah, Dwight will head for the cave. Dwight knows that when he is, Dwight is a sniper. He is so low, but he knows when the time to shoot and the time not to shoot. I have 4 actions. Is there anything I can do? He's going to take a shot. Can I take an action and move with the 4 actions that I was given?
You can definitely take a shot and move. However, you won't get as far as if you didn't take any shots at all, if that makes sense. You're sacrificing traveling speed and traveling distance for the ability to take a shot.
Dwight will move. He'll go with the group.
Okay.
He'll see that everybody's. Does he think that everybody can get clear to the cave? He's worried about the group.
Everybody's running in front of you, so no one's dropped behind you yet. You would be, if you want to make sure that Dwight's the last in the line, you will remain the trailer on all of this, as far as you believe that all the other Olympians are ahead of you. The last thing that you see as you quit the area is the body of Jack Kilgrave being covered with sand.
Will you let me search Jack Kilgrave real quick? Can he pat Jack Kilgrave down before he goes?
Absolutely. You're gonna take away time from and distance from your run.
Okay. Well, he's got Blitznell, so he'll pat him down as fast as he can go, and then head for the cave.
Okay. Roll me a spot hidden.
Oh, that's my specialty, buddy.
Okay, well, with your spot hidden, you search him and you see a lot of things that don't really matter too much. A compass, just a map to the dig site upon which he was, or where he had gone. The one thing that you do find, though, is attached to a leather cord around his neck appears to be a very long nail.
He takes the nail.
Okay.
And then books it for the Blitznell's for the cave.
Okay. You're able to catch up with everybody to the sounds of the awakening army behind you. Lancaster seems to, at least for this round, be setting his sights on these 2 fiery stars in the sky, as you hear 2 shots rocket off as he is beginning to pepper the area with death. As 2 shots go off, actually no, he only had 1 shot because he shot 2 last time. As he opens it up, he reloads, closes the elephant gun, takes a shot into the air, and whoever might be watching, you see the star with the blue and white tinge stop and become motionless in the sky, and you see, as these bullets approach, a flash, and you hear Lancaster curse as they begin to move in the sky again, almost strafing the area, but not projecting or firing anything that you can see that might cause pain to the troops. It's more of a just a irritation. But let's cut back to the top. Sabella, you guys had 1 round where they were confused by the approach. What would you like to do as you reach the mouth of this cave?
Seeing Kate fly overhead is a bit of a relief, and she's going to turn over her shoulder to Greta and Elijah and Dwight. I need time. Cover me. Protect the girls. And she's going to go into the cave as much as her movement will let her, and she's got to start trying to do this ritual. She doesn't think there's that's what she knows how to do. That's what she's going to try to do.
Okay, so as you begin the dark ritual, it's going to take you a round to set up, and it's going to take you another round to basically get through. You're going to need to... It will enable you to get this ritual set, but you're going to need to be able to see the person that you cast this upon, simply because this is the reverse of the spell. The regular spell is you take the salts of the body and you reconstitute the body and presumably the soul. This requires the opposite effect, and if that target is in fact Lancaster, upon which you learned in your last one-on-one encounter, you're going to be able to need to see him, but I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. How far into the cave are you setting up?
As far back as she can and still able to see the mouth.
Okay, we'll say you're able to get about 20 feet back. The cave system itself seems to drop into like a sandstony, half exposed, half covered system of probably what is or was some type of erosion system or old water runoff. But as of right now, it's obviously very, very dry. And you can get back to just about before the network kind of peels off behind you. So you are at the rear of the cave. Let us drop to Greta. Greta, what would you like to do? As you kind of make your way to the cave and you get there just as you see Sabella make these announcements.
Greta is going to wait for Kate to get in the first aider. So getting about like 10 feet. Just enough, like in front of Sabella, but still a good, like back enough that she's not going to be a direct line, so she can heal Kate.
Okay. So let's do this then. Kate, you land inside if you're going into the cave, you'll be landing and Greta will be descending upon you to help. The two of you can RP that, or we can just roll.
Kate makes a perfect landing about 10 feet inside the mouth of the cave. And as Greta approaches, now, I'm not sure I like very much what you did to me last time, Doc.
Greta's just kind of like gonna look at the serum. She's actually just gonna let a handful of them just like fall to the floor and drop, because she had a bunch of those Hilecrafter ones and she can't trust them now. So she's gonna be like, some of my serums were compromised. I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. And she's actually gonna pull pulling out bandages and rubbing alcohol and stuff.
Okay, let's give it an old-fashioned first aid then.
First aid. Hard success.
Okay. Now, you have a hard success here. I would like you to roll either another first aid or another medicine. And because we had a boon come in from Pope, this is because Dr. Greta von Krauss is the best motherfucking doctor in 1933. I'm going to let you roll again. If you beat this with a hard or an extreme, you are going to heal Kate 1d10.
Excellent. All right, I'm going to do a medicine then.
And that...
Oh, I thought I was going to get to roll.
Yeah, let's let you roll it.
You should roll.
I'm sorry. What was I thinking? I'm starting to act like Don. Okay, yes. So with the difference there, please take the 8 as Kate comes back online a bit with 9 hit points, if my math was correct.
It was.
Okay, so as you come back online with 9, as the healing mystic hands of Dr. Greta von Krauss repair not only the damage done by the Dr. Dietrich sabotage, by that also done by the elephant gun of one Philip Lancaster, that takes the entirety of both of your rounds. Let's cut to Elijah. Elijah, you are... Strider, this is what Elijah experienced during the first couple missions of the Olympians. And by that I mean, this is something that for someone that pretends or experiences or is a confidence man that has these personalities in him, is this in or outside of the wheelhouse of Elijah Sawyer? Because this is a wartime, warcraft, battlefield fight. And I wanted to ask this back in season 1, but I'm asking it now. What's this like for Elijah? Because this is something that can't be controlled with conversation.
Yeah, he's really been extracted out of his element. His element is bars and fancy ballrooms back in New York City. The chaos, the storm going around them is actually a pretty good visual metaphor. There's chaos. He's not quite sure how to decrypt it and understand it. He is just going to try to live in the moment and do what he can to help people out. As far as he's concerned, he's rather disposable. And these Olympians, they might be misguided, but at least they're nice to him. So he'd prefer if they didn't have to die. As for what he's going to do, if there's any nook and cranny he can try to nestle in, closer to the mouth of the cave. He wants Dwight to be one hell of a speed bump for any of these guys trying to get in here, and he's going to be the second.
Okay. So as Elijah has shown throughout the course of this entire series, really, he's really goddamn good at just about everything. And much like the very first time the battle with Lancaster was met, the two buffers or bulwarks against which the ocean could crash are again Dwight Burke and Elijah Sawyer. So as the two of you kind of take purchase, and Dwight, I'm going to have you run in at this point too. You see Elijah taking his position as Strider narrated. What would you like to do?
Well, I want to get the magic bullet out of the gun first. He wants to get it out of the barrel and put in regular bullets. Did I see the ragged entity next to Lancaster?
Yeah, you all saw it as it stepped kind of around and into your...
How many shots are you going to give me at whatever's coming at me?
You've run at this point and haven't turned around. There is a sandstorm going on, so you've run parallel to this position. You can see the host, but the defined area is a little bit more compromised. I'll let you spot hidden it, though, because this is your movement in, and you are still experiencing... Yep. With a regular success, you can see the group. You're pretty sure you can make out Lancaster because it looks like these stars in the sky are focusing on his area. You can't make out that group.
Can I speak to? How can we stop him? He kind of screams that out in a general way.
Working on it.
You know, obviously you see Sabella has come back, so when she says that, he's gonna take aim at the ragged doll other than Lancaster.
Okay. I will tell you this. You think you can see the creature. If it's still in the same position as it was, it would be to the right of Lancaster, your left through the scope. If you can see it, you're not you can definitely not say for certain that this is the same creature, but you see a silhouette, and for Dwight Burke, that's good enough. Yeah. I will allow you to shoot, and depending upon the success of your shots, we'll see how it goes.
How many shots are you going to give me?
You ran in here, so I'll give you 2.
There's a success.
Okay, and with both of those as normal successes, correct?
Yes, 21.
Okay, with both of those as normal successes, a hard was required to hit through the veil of the sandstorm. You see them go around and you see the silhouettes dodge. You see kind of a rank and file silhouette behind crumple in the middle of this, blizzard of sand. But the figure that was beside Lancaster seems to be moving now. And while you could see it, you didn't have a high enough success to track it, and it seems to be part of the host again now.
Does it look like Lancaster's moving at us?
You don't see that right now. Since you're at the end of the round, what I'll tell you you do see is this. One feature in the entire landscape of this area is very identifiable and doesn't require a roll to kind of pinpoint or reference, and that's the red sign that was floating above Kate. That red sign begins to drift from the position where it was towards your cave.
Okay.
You all notice various things. Unless you move to the mouth of the cave, you cannot watch the track of the army that is out there. Elijah and Dwight are in a position to do so. Because we have Sabella working on what she's working on. She can do nothing this round, but I'm going to give one more round to see what Greta and Kate are going to do right now, as the first aid and the mystical fingers has been a success.
Am I going to be all right?
Unless we all die to Lancaster, yeah. This you're sorted.
Okay. And I'm going to move up then to a position behind Dwight and Elijah so that I can get some visibility on what's going on outside the cave.
Okay, roll me a con check as you approach, Allison.
Con check. I will advantage this. I will call it for you, Greg. Regular success.
For a moment, as you are walking towards them, you feel your vision white out a bit as the blood loss and the pain of the wound, while treated, is still very prominent in your torso. And as you walk, you almost greet Dwight with an unconscious body being draped over his shoulders. But you're able to, without anyone noticing, you're able to steady yourself and approach him as Kate O'Callahan and not as a dying Kate O'Callahan.
Can I see those water tanker trucks from where I'm standing?
Well, you can roll me a spot hidden and we'll see.
A regular success.
You think you can make out the darker shapes, but this sandstorm, mechanically speaking, everyone, the sandstorm has ratcheted your ability checks for visual or sensorial acuity up by 1. So what would have been a normal success to spot something requires hard extreme. So you think, much like Dwight thought he saw the robed and wrapped figure, you think you see the bulk of these trucks, but you can't be certain it's them and not a rock or just a shadow.
Based on the distance that they were from us and the distance that I've covered to the cave, how far away do I think they are?
Everything is probably about 150 yards off. You guys have paralleled from the position that you were at before, with Lancaster having been about 100 yards off or so when you were kind of standing at the no man's land between the two groups. You've kind of you haven't moved away from the bulk of the host, but you've moved away from Lancaster's position. So Lancaster would be 150, 175 yards. The trucks were around him, so give or take 50 for what you might be looking at. It's very tough to see.
Mr. Burke, you get a bead on those trucks, you know what to do. Those two stars in the sky are who I think they are. Let's see if we can't give them a little cover to do their jobs.
I got it.
Greta?
Melee fighter, so I'm gonna go first aid Elijah.
Okay.
That's a hard success.
Okay, Elijah gets back, let's see, gets back 1, and then you don't have time to medicine on this round, but he would get back his well, with a hard, let's do 1 to 3. I'm feeling benevolent in the moment.
It's 1.
That's still 1. Okay, so Elijah, as you would feel, or Strider is, Greta moves up behind, kind of begins to wrap and prepare you. The other off-putting thing for the 4 Olympians that are kind of watching out the front door while Sabella does her thing is that you have 2 of these hounds, these serpent dogs, that are kind of looking around, their tongues flicking out to taste the air to kind of get an idea of what's going on. They seem peaceful enough, but they are a reflection and a remembrance of the host that is outside. Here at the end of our round inside the cave, I am going to ask everyone at the mouth, which is Greta, Elijah, Dwight, and Kate, to roll me a spot hidden.
Oh, okay.
Elijah's more concerned with getting nuzzled away if he can find a nook or cranny.
You cut out, Strider.
Uh-oh.
I gotcha. Yeah, you said you're looking to nestle into anything that can kind of shelter you from the mouth of the cave.
Yeah, I'm trying to be hidden if he can.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you do, you can do so, and it would still give you at least like a 75%, 3/4 view of the mouth of the cave. So I'll allow you to roll again as well.
Too busy doing medics and stuff. I can't look out that cave. I'm also very distracting for Elijah with my medicines.
We're looking at something else.
Okay. Just checking a couple things. All right, Kate O'Callahan, with your success. Boy, the Olympians need to bring up their game here with these rolls a bit. You all see from a position that would have been, again, not in the lines of Lancaster, but more where you are. The red sign is now between you and this new event that you see. What looks like a sunlit lightning bolt appears in the air, and you see it begin to get wider.
Like a tear in the sky?
Sure, you can call it like that.
Yeah, if it doesn't go away, it's just kind of.
But it has a very defined, almost comic book lightning bolt look to it.
Okay.
And it seems to be getting wider.
Hmm.
Can I shoot? When can I shoot?
we're at the end of all this. If you want to take a shot, tell me what you're shooting at, and I will let you know what you think you hit.
The first thing I'm going to try to shoot is the red dot coming at us. The next thing I'll shoot is the water tanks. If I have 4 shots, I'll take one at the. Do I believe that the red dot can be shot? I don't even understand it in Dwight's brain.
Yeah, you can absolutely shoot at the red sign. I mean, it's a very easy shot as far as it's lazily drifting towards you, and it's, you know, self-illuminated. It's like bioluminescent. So, yeah, you shoot right through that son of a bitch, but it doesn't seem to hurt it.
All right, he'll take shots at the water tank.
Okay. Are you aiming, what are you aiming for if what you see you think is the water tank? So if you let's assume that you know what a truck looks like. What would Dwight be shooting at on the truck?
What do I see? Do I know a spot hidden or what I see?
You see a big blob. You see a big, shadowy fucking blob. But if you think and you trick yourself into thinking it looks like a truck, which you are if you're going to shoot it, what would you be trying to shoot at this blob truck?
Do I see a hose coming out of the truck?
This is like a Rorschach test. You can see whatever you want to see, but you didn't roll high enough on your spot hidden to get anything more than just a general shadowy blob of this thing. And again, this could be a rock. You just think this is the truck. So if you're shooting, you're either shooting at the front, the back, the bottom, the top. There's nothing there's no distinguishing features in this shadowy blob.
Dwight would shoot. Do I see a hose coming out of the? No, there's nothing. There's just spray.
We're in a sandstorm.
Thank you.
So if you're taking a shot, just tell me this. If I think I see a truck, I'm shooting at the front, I'm shooting at the back, I'm at the top or the bottom?
The tank.
The back.
The water tank itself. Yeah, the back.
Fire your shot.
Oh, hold on. Wow, that's the first fail I've ever had shooting. Yeah, that's a fail. And rightfully so.
As you fire, because this is a failure, the telltale sound of a rock being shot comes back as you hear just a pronounced ricochet.
Yeah.
I'll give you one more shot.
I'm going to take another shot at the ragdoll guy. You know, that's sending the red dot in there. And I'll take advantage on this.
Okay.
At him. Yes, finally a hard.
Okay, you do hit something in the blob, but the red sign does not disappear. What we're going to do is, with the shots going out, the group that you are watching begins to split. Several shapes leave the host and begin to advance on your position. They are following behind the red sign. If we're talking mechanically, it looks as if this red sign should reach the cave the next round. You all do not see Lancaster, but I'd like you all to roll listen checks. As you roll these listen checks, note again, these are sensorial skills that I'm asking you to use. They are also compromised by the howling of the storm.
use 4 points of luck to make that a hard success.
And that would mean that you are the only one that gets a hard success on the listen, correct? Oh my gosh, yeah.
Copy.
Okay, so, which is very apropos.
Of course it is.
Sabella, as you are in the back and you are concentrating on all of this, and as you are getting this very powerful Cthulhu spell, this very powerful eldritch, soul-shattering bit of voodoo ready, you hear from the host again the sounds of furies, all the furies, and then you hear as almost the wind itself stops for just a moment, and you hear Hades. And those of you that are in the front, the lightning bolt stretches and cracks, and a vehicle springs from inside this split sky. And for a moment, you can't see exactly what it is, but as it splits through, it is Kate O'Callahan, because I'm not making Kate roll this. Kate sees a plane fly through this crack. And as it flies through, the make and model unknown to her, the craftsmanship similar obviously in design of most smaller craft in how it is just put together. But for a moment, Kate, as you look up, you see the wings bank as it reveals its underbelly to the cave, and you see across the bottom of it, Princess of Mars. And as it banks and turns and flies through the air, you see many of the men begin to shoot at this plane. And you also see many of the men begin to shoot at the opening as a fiery figure enters and steps upon the desert. Each step the figure takes becomes glass in its wake. You have 1 round. Lancaster is somewhere out there. Sabella, you are ready if you can find him. The battle is joined as the Olympians from the Burke farm have entered the field, but it will be the Olympians of our world that will determine the course of this battle.
Can I help her find her? Can I help her find him?
Lancaster is out there. Tell me how you find him.
I don't know if she's really depending on those senses. She'll start moving toward the mouth of the cave. Just as far as I know, he's the only one in the vicinity who could even be affected by what she's doing. So I don't know if that would help her pinpoint him, even if she couldn't see him with her eyes.
Here's how I'm going to let it work because of the sandstorm. I'm going to let you lob this spell like a grenade. So if you, it's almost like an AoE type of thing. If you can even get it, you don't have to, you know, make a spell attack or something like that. If you can just get it in the same, say, 20 by 20 foot area, if your theory holds correct, that's as close as it needs to be.
Okay.
But as you get forward, the rest of the Olympians see the following. Sabella, roll me a d20. And the rest of you see a red energy almost drifting like smoke off of the jaw, the hair, the clothing of Sabella Ives. Though she is no longer the tyrannish, she is something far beyond. She's more akin to the creature she's targeting now than the librarian she was, as she loses 15 sanity for addressing this spell. And with the 15 points of sanity loss come both a temporary and I'm assuming a permanent insanity. They are both one and the same. You must see this through, and you must get to your girls. So when you reach the edge of the cave, you continue out into the desert. Olympians, the battle is not in here. The choice is yours. Lancaster must be defeated. How do you do it?
As Kate sees Sabella step out through the mouth of the cave, she immediately triggers the jetpack and moves out. I want to position myself as best I can between where she is and the last place that I saw Lancaster and company. But as I do, I'm obviously going to have to get some altitude. I want to see if I can get a bead on where he is. If I'm looking for him specifically.
Absolutely. Let's do 2 rolls here, Allison. Give me a piloting check and give me a spot hidden as you rocket out of the cave.
All right, here comes the pilot. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God.
There is luck to be spent. I will pleasantly remind.
Yeah, thank you. I'll spend them.
Okay.
I'll spend the 3 to make it a success.
And the spot hidden roll.
This I will use advantage for. Yeah, I will.
I will let you use 7 more luck if you want to get it to a 40 for a hard success, as stated. To see through this bad
I'll
boy.
use the 7.
Okay. So as you rocket out and blister into the sky, the sand smashing against your face, as you are greeted with the sound of not only this sandstorm and the purple nothing, but also the roar of the engine as the plane banks and begins to turn back upon Lancaster's host. And as you rocket into the sky and look down, you can see that Lancaster's men have formed almost a tactic from an earlier bygone age, as you see a rank of them kneeling with their guns out, a rank behind them with their guns over the shoulder, and Lancaster standing seemingly above both of these 2 rows as he is directing and firing into the air at the 2 stars that seem to be going around. At this altitude and with the hard success that you rolled, you can see through the fire of these 2 stars, and you can see the 13 or 14-year-old girls that are beneath.
Mm-hmm. Am I within shooting range of Lancaster?
It's going to take you 1 more round to get there. You went straight up, and you can go across to him, but as we stated before, on foot it took a round to get to the cave. It'll take you a round to get back.
All right, so I'm hovering, and as I've seen where he is, I'm going to just yell at the top of my voice, Lancaster, you limey son of a bitch!
Roll me a Constitution check. Or strength. I'll take either here.
Oh, Jesus.
Or power. I'm feeling great. Go power.
Well, I'll roll the power check and hard success. Well, let me roll again, though, since I automatically get advantage on those. Yeah, so hard success.
Okay, so with the hard success, just as the elephant gun goes up and you see that one of the stars in the sky, these girls, the orange and red one begins to flicker a bit. You see him immediately detect this aberration, as any hunter would detect weakness among a flock or a group that he was hunting, and his gun spins and the double barrels lock onto this star. But before he can shoot, your words reach his ear as he stops and turns, and you see those brilliant crystal eyes through the purple and the sand as he locks on you, and you see the double barrels move from the star to your green splash in the sky.
Yeah, let's see if you can make the shot this time, Great White Hunter.
Let's go. He hears that too. Let's go to everybody else. I want to know what Greta's doing. I want to know what Elijah's doing. I want to know what Dwight's doing. Sabella, you are walking out. If you have anything else to add to your approach, let me know.
Just as soon as I get in range.
Dwight would try to grab Sabella.
Roll a Constitution check for me, please. You reach through her, and the burning on your hands isn't anything to cause you a lot of damage. However, there isn't a growl or a pair of growls that reach your ears, but there is the of two hissing maws as the sides of the serpents almost fan out as they turn and look at you. And Dwight, you more than anybody else, as you ran over the rooftops of Spain, know what that sign means. And as your hand is on her, that as they move closer and closer to you, Mr. Burt.
Do I believe bringing her back is the, I mean, in his mind, you know, because he was going to grab her and pull her back as much as he can and help her. He doesn't understand what she's doing going out in the field, so it doesn't matter. He scoops her up.
Don't grab her.
He pulls her back.
Except that he doesn't, because it's my character. No.
Right. You can attempt to do stuff. And if I will tell you this, if you attempt to do anything to redirect Sabella Ives, both Tom and Cleo will attack. And I was going to have you roll an idea roll or an intelligence roll to grab that, but I'll give it to you for free. These suckers seem to be beholden to only one Olympian, and that Olympian is Sabella Ives. And you, my friend, look more like a gerbil they'd like to ingest over the course of a week or two.
All right, he'll let her go.
What would you like to do, though? I need to know what Greta and Dwight, if you're leaving the cave, if you're staying in the cave, if you're moving out of the cave, if you're launching a tactic, let me know, because the next round after this, shit happens for good or ill.
Where is the red sign? Is it still coming towards the cave, or does it seem to be directed at a specific individual?
It has not changed yet, but you all kind of exploded out of the cave in this round. Kate obviously getting elevation and getting away. Mm-hmm. It has not followed Kate, but it is still approaching the mouth of the cave. So if you rush straight out, you're going to meet it. If you kind of, blast to either side, you're going to miss it.
Just at the speed it's been moving, would it get to the cave next round?
Yes.
Okay. Is there cover to either side of the cave? Like on out?
There's cover all over the place with fallen rock, and this used to be some type of like a Aleutian kind of like fan type of area. So there's larger rock everywhere.
Greta would kind of like grab Elijah, his hand, and kind of just point towards the rocks. We should head for cover. That thing is headed this way.
Don't split the party. I'm inclined to go with her.
Okay.
So Elijah Sawyer, con man, is marching with Sabella Ives.
No, Greta. Cover.
Oh, okay.
I had to have that redone. Okay, so which side do you want to go? If you guys leave and kind of go out the right-hand side of the cave, that'll get you closer to the host, closer to Lancaster, presumably. If you head to the left, that's kind of farther out into the desert and away from the battle proper. Straight ahead being the sign.
Yeah, that's we're not going straight ahead.
Elijah doesn't have the firepower that we're seeing from some of these jetpack wielding psychic
No.
witch types. So he's going to try to play a support role as best he can, which does put him in danger close. I'd suggest right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all secret yourselves off to the side. Let's go ahead and roll stealth rolls with advantage plus 20%. So
that's great.
Whatever roll you get, take 20% off of it because you're hiding in a sandstorm and you may or may not be target number 1. So that's an 8.
Oh my god!
That's you disappear. You become Ant-Man. You are in the subatomic, right?
I guess with advantage. Yeah, no, I'll take that 15. Oh my god.
Okay, so Dwight,
how has Greta made so many stealth rolls this campaign? I don't know.
I know you got a terrible stealth score too, but it's awesome. Hey, you disappeared.
Hey, let's go over here.
We just secret away into a little nook.
Yeah, Dwight, you're sitting there like
we terror cuddle. It's fine.
Right, Dwight, you're sitting there, and for a second, you're watching. You go to grab Sabella. You realize there's a problem. You let go. You turn around, and they're gone.
Doesn't matter. What can I shoot at?
You've got a target-rich environment, but I'm going to ask you in broad terms. You have enemy dogs. You have enemy soldiers. If you get closer to the host, potentially Lancaster, potentially this robed figure, there's other elements on the battlefield now, but you're recognizing them as familiar sights. At least the fiery burning thing coming out of the lightning bolt seems awful familiar.
What do I see? Other than the target rich, the dogs, the enemies, can I zoom in on something specific?
I tell you what, roll me a spot hidden.
Stream.
As you take your scope and you begin to pan the area looking for something that would do the most damage, which is I'm assuming what you're doing. You're trying to find something that would be better than just foot soldiers and better than just dogs. For a moment, your scope passes by the widened or the massive lightning bolt or tear in the sky. And inside, you see a blonde-haired man as he seems to be sitting in some type of gyroscope, some type of multi-orbited and ringed device. There is an energy going all around him and all around this device as he's holding on, as it's spinning in all of these different movements back and forth. In the future, away from 1933, this would be something very similar to what they would test the Apollo astronauts with, or the Mercury astronauts, to see how much they could handle as far as G-forces. And as this thing begins to spin and it casts this energy, with that extreme, you can see that this energy is widening this lightning bolt in the sky. And just as you look, you, with your extreme, are the first to see the burning figure as Phil Castillo, as he is walking towards the line, and you see fire erupt from his hands in a half-moon arc. As he is not advancing towards where Lancaster is, he is advancing towards Sabella. And you also see slip out from the lightning bolt, you see the man in the blonde man in the device screaming. And if you could read lips, you would probably know what he was saying. But as he is screaming, he is incapable of stopping the 13-year-old girl wearing the cowboy hat that slips out of the lightning bolt.
I knew you were going to do this.
And she pulls out 2 revolvers as she begins to walk behind Phil Castillo. It is your daughter. And
What's she shooting at?
She's just walking with the man on fire. But with your extreme, you know exactly where Lancaster is, but you need a better shot. You can move towards him. Or you can move towards your girl.
Dwight is going to move toward Lancaster. And he's going to take a shot at him to see if he can hit him. And before he could not hit him.
I'm going to tell you this. Here's the compromise that I will make to you, Dwight. You can get into a range to shoot and have a shot. It's going to be difficult because he's behind 2 ranks of men.
Right.
You're also going to give away your position when you fire. If you move and set, you will not be giving away your position as much. But this will be literally like you rushing up and just standing in the middle of everything and taking your shot.
Okay. He's gonna move and set. I'll take advantage.
You can move and set and wait till your next round, or you can just rush up and fire. That's the choice.
He's gonna move and fire. And he'll give away his position.
Okay, with the shot as it goes out, you see Lancaster get struck on the shoulder as he moves, and the gun that was leveled on Kate spins out of the way. Everyone, you are set for this round. It is time for the group to roll me some luck rolls. I want luck rolls from Sabella. I want luck rolls from Kate. I want a luck roll from Dwight. I do not need one from the 2 that are hidden.
I'll take advantage on it. Oh my God.
Oh.
Allison.
Oh
my God.
Robinson.
Allison.
Hard success.
I love you, Allison. I love you. I want to tell you that before I roll this. I love you.
You better get 100 then.
I've rolled it like 5 times. It keeps saying syntax. I don't even get that.
There we go. Oh my God, it's almost.
No, that's me.
It was very close. That's how bad it is.
Okay, so we see Lancaster take the shot, and it takes away one of his abilities to fire, but he is going to shoot into the sky. And with 14.
Can I not dodge?
Yeah, you can give me a dodge.
I'll take advantage.
You are down to 1, Kate.
Yeah, I know. Success.
Okay. How we're going to play this is as you dodge in the air on the jetpack, the elephant gun from the hunter with the hard success rings true enough, and you hear the rent of the jetpack behind you as the constant and cool thrust of the turns to a as you begin to lose altitude. The rest of you see the green going on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off as the comes through the sky as America's flying sweetheart is crashing. Now, with the rest of those shots, who had the second worst luck?
Clearly me.
Yeah, not me.
We're gonna say Dwight.
I didn't see what Dwight rolled.
I rolled like a 10.
Oh.
Okie dokie. So with the shots,
98.
Yeah.
a group of Lancaster's army turns and shoots, and Dwight, you take 12 damage as rifles from various areas see you as a threat.
Can I dodge?
This is from the host. It's coming from multiple directions. If you dodge, you'll still take, and if you succeed, you'll still take 3/4 damage, unless you dodge with an extreme. So go ahead. And I believe we just got...
I'll take an advantage, I guess. I mean...
Everyone just got an advantage from May, as Hephaestus sends love from Project Chronos. So you all
I'll definitely dodge. I mean, with an advantage.
Okay, knowing that you cannot shoot your next round. That's what the dodge action means.
Okay. I can't shoot next round. I'll take 12 damage.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, fuck. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna try it. Nope, I failed.
Okay, so you take 3/4 of it. With a successful dodge, you take 8 damage instead, and you will be unable to, or 66%, whatever. You'll take enough of it next time, or 9, I'm sorry, you take 9 points of damage, and you will not be able to do anything with the next round. As we get closer, I want, at the top of this following round, Sabella, the red sign seems to be coming at you. And you have an action here. You can either attempt to find Lancaster and activate your spell, or you can get away from the red sign. If you stay and focus and look in the direction of either where Kate yelled or Dwight shot, or where you see kind of the rank and file, and try to see Lancaster, that's going to freeze your movements for a bit, and that's going to put you in harm's way. But if it's successful, I'm going to give you a shot at Lancaster.
Lancaster.
Roll me a spot hidden.
Oh, he's an advantage.
Okie.
Hard success.
Yes.
With a hard success, just as the shot goes into the air, the one that sunders the jetpack of Kate O'Callahan, and as you're hearing the coming from the sky, he exposes himself, and that arrogant jaw, those superior eyes, the proverbial white hunter is revealed as the sand abates for a moment, and you see he, the wrapped figure, and all of his fun people for you. Roll me a power check. You can do this at an advantage that you do not have to use, and you can also do it at a plus 15%, because that's the sanity you spent to do so.
Yeah. Okay. 21 hard success minus 15.
Is
So
a
I'm at an
6, which is an extreme. So as it hits, cut my music. As it hits, as Kate O'Callahan falls from the sky, let's take this from the viewpoint of Elijah Sawyer and Dr. Greta Von Krause, who, for a moment, even with their kind of removed proximity in the rocks beside the cave, you see the scene better than anyone, as you can see it from tip to tail. And as the overture leads to one of the final acts of this play, a flash goes off, not a purple, but a red, inside the ranks of Lancaster's army. The red sign disappears. You see the bandages and the wrapped figure crumple into the base parts, leather straps, dust, bone. All of Lancaster's men, even those that are not inside the blast radius of this piece of Sabella Ives, fall. And a moment later, they are just so much more sand. Philip Lancaster stops. And he turns. And the shot that Dwight Burke has just given him stains his pompous safari outfit red as he looks at his shoulder. What? And the elephant gun drops from his hands, not because they become too weak to hold it, but because his hands aren't there anymore. No. No. The storm dies down. The trucks remain. All the Olympians remain. Dr. Greta, you are intrigued by the biology. Perhaps. Elijah, who's to say what Elijah Sawyer is intrigued by, if anything? Kate O'Callahan, you are able to touch down with nothing more than a skin knee. And we all know that any landing you can walk away from. Dwight Burke, as you watch the snake dogs that were a part of this army do not turn to dust, but run off into the night and the desert to become a part of this landscape, to become myth and folklore for years to come. But they do not harry, they do not attack. The two that are standing beside Sabella Ives watch their kin leave, and for a moment their heads rest against the hands of the owner of Ives Esoteric and Antiquarian Bookstore. And then they too rush off into the night. Lancaster remains as dust begins to pour out of the sleeves of his shirt. Bested me. Kill the old man. He deserves it more than me. You may all answer him, as it is very quiet.
We will. Au revoir.
What was that about the most dangerous game?
He begins to sink, and it's comical. If he were a witch in Oz, someone would have just poured water on him. But he gets smaller and smaller as the legs that he has stood on for 7 centuries return to the elements that they should be: salt, dust, and sand. Or he'll kill you. I can't wait to see. He gets smaller and smaller, and then he is gone.
Sabella moves forward, picks up a big chunk of the particles of this man and just lets them flow in the breeze so he can never come back again.
And as the remnants of the storm catch one particular gale from the purple storm, perhaps one puppeted by a pope, takes your handful and carries it to the other end of the earth. A little girl rushes up, perhaps in Dwight Burke's mind, but she is 12, 13, a flannel shirt, workman's pants, and worn cowboy boots. Her guns are smoking. She has been to work. And with a deft, almost gunfighter spin, she takes both the right and the left and returns them to the holsters on her thin hips. Daddy.
The tears.
She rushes into his arms if he will take her.
Oh.
The plane known as
I love you. And he just grabs her.
And as the Burkes reunited across time and space, feel the breeze now warm and calm of the desert. It kicks up a bit as the plane known as the Princess of Mars touches down and taxis to a stop. The canopy opens, and the Olympian that refused to conform to the Greek name, Mars, steps out, known to the group as Evie. And as her boots hit the ground, she looks and nods, but does not approach Kate O'Callahan. And, just smiles at a distance. And as the rest of you look, the tear in the lightning bolt in the sky closes. And Greta, as you see through, you see the gyroscope come to a stop. And Hans is sitting there. And he says something. And if you could read lips, you would know that he's saying he'll find another way as the rip closes. The two stars from the sky land. The flaming man known as Phil Castillo walks forward, but his fire does not extinguish. The two girls, Marie and Syl, known as the Furies, land. And as they land, they keep their fire burning enough for modesty's sake. But they get close enough to Sabella Marie Ives, and you can see that your daughters are now 13, 14. They have become young women in your absence. But in their eyes, they are still your girls. Marie straightens her back, almost in a military fashion. Mama, we've come.
I see that. It's been a while.
You can see that Syl is weeping, but Marie continues in a measured, stoic fashion. It took us some time to find you, but we have come at last.
No, Sabella just falls to her knees and just touches both of their cheeks and looks back and forth between the two. Like she still can't believe that they're real.
And Syl, who hasn't said a word yet, is able to barely croak out, "I've missed you."
I missed y'all every second I was gone.
A glow approaches.
She stands up and takes both of their hands and starts walking toward him.
As you walk towards them, Sabella, or Syl, the quiet one, says to you, Sabella, "Don't get too close, Mama."
Why?
Phil walks up, still a raging inferno. "Hey there, Sabella. I have missed you."
I love you.
I love you. The fire is still raging.
What's wrong?
Marie, from your right, says, "The old man hurt him. He can't turn it off." And that is where we're going to end this session of Project Athena. Alrighty. Wendy, how are you and where can we find you online?
Hi, Greg. I'm fine. I'm not emotionally compromised at all after this episode, and I'm definitely not going to be even more emotionally compromised after the next episode. In the meanwhile, you can find me online at Laugh Love Lindy on the Twitches and the Twitters, where I play and DM in a bunch of tabletop RPGs. In particular, you should check out Tuesday afternoon on Encounter Roleplay where I'm DMing Beyond the Mountains of Madness and Call of Cthulhu, then Tuesday night on my channel, where I am DMing Mists of Ravenloft, all the old first and second edition Ravenloft modules bumped up to 5th edition. And then, yeah, just other stuff, but that's what I'm plugging for tonight. So, hey.
Fantastic. And as soon as my links decide they want to work, I'll be throwing everything up in chat. As we jump over to Kate O'Callahan, Allison, how are you, my friend, and where can we find you online?
I'm deeply, deeply satisfied with the death of one of our greatest enemies. And that's like the only thing keeping me from being completely wrecked at this point. So thank you so much. You can find me on Twitter at Allison Robinson with 2 L's and a Y. I think I'd been talking in the past a little bit about potentially running some games here in the new year. That is going to happen. My plans have changed a little bit, though. It's probably all I'm going to say about that right now. I'm super excited about it, though. So you can kind of keep track of all that on Twitter, and you can find me right here on Sunday nights from now until forever, basically. Love y'all.
Fantastic, fantastic, my friend. As we jump up to my brother, Steven, how are you, my friend? And where can we find you online, buddy?
That was a great ending. If I could say one thing, in life, there's so much. Let me get my strength. In life, don't ever take anything for granted. Embrace, pull in, believe in people. We need. This week, I've seen people support me. I'm not. Thank you. Support everyone. Be with everyone. There is just. Don't ever take any second for granted, because tell people that you love. Tell them you love them. Be with them. Protect them. Life is too short. Follow all these people. I love everybody here. They're amazing people. I have learned this week who are amazing. I did not believe the world could be as good as it is. It is better than what I thought. So, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
I love you, brother. Let's jump up to Strider.
I love you too.
Strider, my friend. How are you doing, and where can we find you online?
I'm doing well. Strider Heap over on Twitter. You can find me here on these Sunday evenings. You know, I was spending the last half hour preparing a list of fire-related puns for Phil Castillo, a mile long. But I don't want to lessen the emotional sincerity of this, so I'll just take Steven's advice. Tell people that you love them. So, Greg, Allie, Steve, Lauren, Mindy, we have built a crazy story and a fantastic family. I appreciate it, and I'll be here next week with puns raging.
You're the best, brother. Let's jump over to Lauren, who I can't seem to help but do terrible things to in character. My friend, how are you, and where can we find you online?
I'm Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on Twitter. I play games around the internet with my friends. I love y'all a lot.
There's no other, there's nothing else to say. For those of you watching live on Twitch or on YouTube, we've been telling this story for over a year now. We've been telling... This story continues in chat rooms and tweets and conversations during other games. And when a story breaks the pages of the one that we have, the rest of the Olympians, Strider, they all said it best, becomes a family. And It's a beautiful moment to have happen. It is a blessing, and it's not only for the ones that you see on screen here that I have the incredible pleasure and incredible honor of being able to direct through a world that is all of our design. It is all of you that watch, all of you that show up and support a small little show about special people being played by gods that aren't named Kate O'Callahan or Dr. Greta Von Krause or Elijah Sawyer or Dwight Burke or Sabella Marie Ives. They are being played by Allison and Lindy and Steve and Strider and Lauren, the true Olympians of this show, as are all of you. You make my heart sing, because the tale that has been in there for so long has come out, and it never could have been told without the people that you see, and for the people in chat, and your incredible love and support. So, we have 2 episodes left. And here's my promise. I love these characters to death. And so I will say this. No matter what the end, it will be the best I can do for player and character. But if I can help them win this son of a bitch in any way, I'll put a goddamn bullet in Dietrich Prime's brain myself. So, for the next 2 weeks, please be here as we finish this tale. Join us online, chat about anything you need. Keep kindness alive in 2019. It is so, so important. And so as the campfire dies down in the desert outside of Jerusalem, there's one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, but you can, by God, always role play. We'll see you next time.